Coming up, SU ranks high in a new poll, and no, it's not in regards to our party.
President Obama kicks off a new initiative to help young boys of color.
Tomorrow, temperatures are predicted to reach the mid-30s. Think that's drastic weather? Leander Rose is here to tell us about the other extreme weather going on across the country.
And Cuse heads down to Virginia with first place in the ACC on the line. Citrus TV News starts right now. City officials are reporting more than 130 water main breaks since the beginning of January. I'm Amanda Harry.
And I'm John Tummino. Mayor Stephanie Miner held a news conference at the site of a break outside City Hall earlier today. It's our top story tonight. The mayor was joined by State Assembly member Felix Ortiz at the intersection of Montgomery and East Water Streets earlier today, the site of a recent water main break. Miner and Felix were available to answer questions regarding the severe financial pressure from the city while it faces countless breaks happening day to day. Citrus TV reporter Ashley Chazar visited the site of another recent water main break. Workers were out in the freezing temperatures for several hours mending the pipe. But what seems unbearable to us, it's just another day on the job for them.
Many complain this winter has been a rough one.
This year, compared to the last 2 years, has been very cold.
The cold is hard.
What is not realized is the toll it takes on our infrastructure, both above ground and below. Anthony Geis is the Deputy Executive Director of the Onondaga County Water Authority. He identifies the constant freeze and thaw conditions as an issue when it comes to piping below the ground surface.
According to Geis, it's these cold temperatures that are the main factor in causing these breaks. The frost settles on that exposed road, seeps down more than 3 feet below the surface, and then once the temperatures drop, that frost will expand, causing the pipes to break.
Aqua and city officials are both reporting the number of water main breaks to be more than double the numbers they usually see this time of year.
In February last year, we had 55 breaks, and right now we're over 100 breaks for February.
Anthony DeNicola has worked for the city for 10 years. He says while he's learned how to prepare, the freezing conditions cause other problems.
When it gets cold, things are tough because the pumps freeze, they don't want to work, the backhoes. You know, everything's a little harder when it's 10 or 0 degrees.
Aqua is responsible for 2,000 miles of pipe in the county, while the Syracuse Water Department maintains the 500 miles of pipe in the city. With more breaks comes more money spent for repairs. The city says it's already exceeded its budget substantially. Aqua says it's quickly approaching its cap.
Not yet. We haven't gone over, but we've got a large budget for the year. Do we expect to go over for the year? Yes, we do. I don't have a number that we're going to go over, but we have no choice. We have to fix the breaks.
Now, both workers and officials identify the other utilities under the ground as the issues when it comes to fixing breaks here in the city. That's your telephone and cable wires, electric and gas lines. They limit where the workers can drill, and that forces them to stay out in the cold even longer.
Syracuse University is at the top of the snowiest schools list once again. On Wednesday, the Weather Channel released its new list of colleges with the most average snowfall. SU took the top spot with a reported annual snowfall of 126 inches per year. Nearby neighbor Binghamton University came in 5th. It'll be a walk down memory lane for many Syracuse alums this weekend. A new documentary highlighting the history of Syracuse University's WJPZ will be shown tomorrow afternoon at the Sheridan Hotel. The documentary, Greatest Media Classroom, was commissioned by the WJPZ Alumni Association and features several generations of the student-run station, recounting stories of how WJPZ has launched hundreds of professional broadcast careers.
SU alumnus and award-winning sports broadcaster Mike Tirico will be added to the WAER Hall of Fame tonight. Tirico will join recently inducted Ted Koppel and will be honored with a ceremony in the Herg Auditorium at Newhouse 3. The event is at 5:30 tonight. It was a hero's welcome in Remsen, New York yesterday for one Olympic medalist. The town welcomed home Erin Hamlin, who became the first American to win a singles luge medal with her bronze medal run in Sochi. The town of about 2,000 welcomed the medalist home with a parade in her honor. And it may only be February, but Republicans are looking ahead to November already. Syracuse Republicans are searching for a candidate to challenge Democratic Representative Dan Maffei in November. 8 candidates were given the opportunity to present their platforms last night at the Palace Theater. Republican committees are set to choose a candidate soon, but it is unclear when the name will be announced.
One of Syracuse's oldest businesses is closing its doors. Roth Steel is closing after more than a century in the scrap metal business. Officials at the company laid off all 33 employees yesterday, telling them the scrap metal recycler could not make enough money to continue operating. One former employee claims the price war with Ben Weitzman of Syracuse Scrapyard in Solvay is what killed Roth Steel. A surgeon at St. Joseph's Hospital Health Center is under criminal investigation for alleged inappropriate behavior. Complaints of unprofessional behavior from orthopedic surgeon Michael Clark caused security cameras to be implemented in operating rooms. The Onondaga District Attorney did not say what the specific allegations against Clark are. St. Joseph's has made no comment about the issue. Coming up, the commander-in-chief and his right-hand man are urging Americans to get active.
And a Russian warship is docked fewer than 200 miles off the coast of Florida. Find out what trouble it's stirring when we return.
We had some sun today, but colder temperatures and more snow is on the way. I'm Leanne DeRosa. Stay tuned for your full weather forecast to see what your weekend weather will be like.
That's low. That's low. Look, he's blushing.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
SU has received special recognition for its efforts in aiding former veterans. Citrus TV's Nick Papantonis has more.
Since the basketball season started, it's been easy to forget that Syracuse can be recognized for anything other than the orange. But on February 19th, President Bush did just that.
For the past 6 months, the Bush Institute has partnered with Syracuse University and the Institute for Veterans and Military Families to conduct research on veterans returning from the Middle East and becoming civilians again.
There's what we call a civilian-military divide. In other words, the returning vets think one thing, the civilian population thinks another, and our aim is to get people to understand each other better.
We spoke to James Schmeling, the managing director and co-founder of the IVMF.
So the Institute for Veterans and Military Families focus with veterans is actually national, and what we do is work with business and industry, with higher education, with community organizations, and we conduct research related to veterans and their families and what happens to them post-service. Specifically, what they were looking for from us is to review academic literature, statistics and demographics, and provide information to them on the unemployment and employment of post-9/11 veterans, their community reintegration, their health and wellness, and other things.
Unemployment remains high, between 7 and 10%. That means that there's an untapped labor source in this country. According to the IVMF, veterans may have skills that can't be taught in a classroom.
So the things that people traditionally think about are leadership. We've often had experience as veterans supervising people at very young ages or being responsible for large-scale projects and not having a lot of experience before we go into them. We're also demonstrating characteristics like persistence towards a goal. Once you set a mission, veterans tend to work towards accomplishing it. Or resiliency, bouncing back from challenges or failures and keeping going with other things.
Nick Papantonis, CitrusTV.
The Bush Institute plans to continue its partnership with SU over the next year. The two hope to create tools and guidelines to help businesses work with veteran organizations.
President Obama announced a new plan to help young men and boys of color succeed. The initiative is known as My Brother's Keeper and plans to evaluate practices being used to assist young black men across the country and build on them. The initiative plans to receive $200 million over the next 5 years from foundations and businesses. One airline company says it will take a financial hit this year. United Continental says it has to have canceled more than 22,000 flights since the beginning of 2014, which is 4 times as many flights canceled than this time last year. Flight tracker Mass Flight estimated that the first 6 weeks this year canceled 75,000 flights, the largest since U.S. airspace was shut down following the 9/11 attacks. It's safe to say Congress has been moving too swiftly over the past couple of years, but the president and vice president are trying to change that. They both can be seen running through the White House in a commercial that's part of the First Lady Michelle Obama's Let's Move campaign. This year marks the 4-year anniversary of the First Lady's initiative. She asked Americans to share on social media how they're moving, using the hashtag Let's Move. Ousted Ukraine President Viktor Yanukovych insisted today that he remains the country's elected leader and is not giving up. In his first appearance since being ousted last week, Yanukovych said that the newly appointed interim government is not legitimate and does not represent the majority of Ukraine's 45 million citizens. Yanukovych says that he is ashamed he could not maintain stability in his country and will return to Ukraine as soon as his safety can be guaranteed. A Russian warship is docked in Cuba today, just 200 miles from Miami. Russia has not yet given an explanation for the warship's presence, but experts say it is in response to the ongoing unrest in Ukraine and Vladimir Putin's devotion to extending his country's military footprint. The ship is reportedly armed with anti-aircraft missiles. An investigation into online baby trading continues today. China's Ministry of Public Security rescued nearly 400 babies and arrested over 1,000 people suspected for buying babies and selling infants online. This comes after a 6-month operation in which police received reports of a website promoting private adoptions. Public libraries in Tokyo will soon receive 300 Anne Frank-related books. The Israeli Embassy and Jewish community in Japan are donating the books after the discovery of hundreds of books at several libraries were found to be damaged since January. Police are currently conducting an investigation into the incident. Coming up, we'll have your full weather forecast and one award show may be washed out. Stay tuned.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Well, this time last week, the weather felt spring-like. It was sunny and in the 40s.
But not this week. Cold temperatures have returned. But first, Citrus TV's Leanne DeRosa is here to show us the extreme weather going on across the nation. Leanne?
Well, on Groundhog Day this year, Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow and predicted 6 more weeks of what experts call one of the worst winters on record. Philadelphia, New York, and Chicago have been some of the hardest hit cities so far this year. This New Jersey vehicle you see had its windshield smashed in after ice flew off the roof of a semi-truck. Sub-zero temperatures have closed schools in Detroit, Michigan. People in this Michigan neighborhood have been trapped for days by ice. A water main break spewed water onto streets and lawns, and no one has come to repair the break. Thus, the ice continues to form new layers from the temperatures. On the other side of the country, California is in the midst of its worst drought in 100 years. But now, thousands are being evacuated in anticipation of possible flash floods and mudslides. 6 inches of rain are expected to fall, and crews reported to hundreds of accidents this morning due to the slick roads. Crews preparing for the Oscars are even bracing for potential flooding, even though the rain is expected to subside by Sunday. And thankfully, we're not expecting as extreme weather here in Syracuse, although we're used to the snow by now. You can see tonight we'll have partly cloudy skies, temperatures dropping down to a low of 4 degrees. We had some very bad wind yesterday, and thankfully that wind has subsided. We're seeing winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, and that will carry over into tomorrow. You could see tomorrow morning when we wake up, we'll have some clouds, snow developing into the later afternoon, highs around the upper teens going into the 20s, although that will feel colder when the wind chill is added in. You can see we have snow developing tomorrow across and over the weekend in our area, only about 1 to 2 inches. That could change though because we have a new snowstorm developed. Titan, his name is, and that's coming all the way from the west across our area. We are expected to see some snow Sunday into Monday, even some ice, like rain, wintry mix, and that might hit our area depending on how far north that travels. Looking at our 5-day forecast, you can see we have snow across our weekend into Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, hopefully we'll see a reprieve of that snow, but the temperatures are going to fluctuate throughout the week entirely, going between the 30s and some of the upper teens into the 20s as well. So it's just all up in the air for now.
So, Leanne, tomorrow starts March. We got one more week until we're out of here for spring break. Is it going to be a good week, or should we be reaching up for some cold weather?
Well, it's definitely going to drop as we move into the beginning of next week. We're going to see temperatures and wind chills reaching down to 0, even below 0. So everyone's going to be very excited to hopefully reach some warm weather if they're going away for spring break.
Certainly be excited. Thanks so much, Leanne.
You're welcome.
It's Oscar time. The 86th Annual Academy Awards are scheduled for this Sunday, but as we've mentioned, rain may put a damper on the festivities. Workers have covered the famous red carpet in plastic in an effort to keep it dry. Regardless of the weather, CNN predicts that Gravity, American Hustle, and 12 Years a Slave will be big winners this Sunday. You can watch the Oscars at 7 p.m. on ABC. Now here's Ben Stevens with sports. Ben?
Coming up on sports, Syracuse goes down to Charlottesville, Virginia for a double dip of action on Saturday. The SU women take on another undefeated opponent in lacrosse, and LeBron does his best Batman impression with his snazzy carbon fiber mask. All that and more after the break.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 132.
That's how many batters struck out 4 times in one game last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's how many kids have witnessed bullying. 3 out of 4.
That's not a good stat.
No, it's not, but it can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
The dramatic 2-point win over Duke in overtime, the buzzer beater that rocked the Oakland Zoo, thanks to Tyler Ennis. But Saturday's matchup against Virginia could be the Orange's most important game of the year. If the Orange come out on top, SU will be tied atop the ACC with Virginia, but will hold what could be the crucial tiebreaker edge in deciding the regular season ACC champion. The Orange head down to Charlottesville after some much-needed rest following another nail-biting victory against Maryland on Monday. The Cavaliers are arguably the hottest team in the nation right now, winners of 12 straight, and have moved all the way up to number 12 in the country. But the Orange won't be done with the Wahoos after the final buzzer goes off in John Paul Jones Arena. The SU men's lacrosse team takes on Virginia later Saturday night in what has become one of the best rivalries in college lacrosse. Virginia head man Dom Starja is the active leader in wins with 353 to John Desko's 189, but Desko has the highest winning percentage among D1 coaches. Since 1994, the two squads have faced off 26 times with a dead even split of 13 wins apiece. Diving even a little bit deeper now, Virginia edges Syracuse in total scores by a whopping 3 goals. That's right. In a whole 20 years of games between the now ACC foes, Virginia has 348 goals to the Orange's 345. Virginia has won its first 5 games of the season, including a close win over Loyola to open the year. SU was coming off one of the worst losses in recent memory after getting stomped by Maryland 16-8 in the Dome last Saturday. Now moving to the women's side, SU takes on Towson University this Sunday at home. The number 2 ranked Orange, led by Kayla Traynor and Alyssa Murray, are undefeated so far this season. They have 2 big wins against ACC opponents Virginia and Boston College. Junior goalie Kelsey Richardson played the entire game against BC after splitting time the first 4 games of the year. But the Towson Tigers are off to a hot start as well, as the number 15 Tigers defeated 10th ranked Georgetown in their last outing. Mardi Gras is in full swing down in New Orleans, and it seems LeBron James is feeling the Bourbon Street spirit, bringing not only his talents, but the masquerade down to South Beach on Thursday night. There's LeBron wearing that mask for the first time since 2004 when he was with the Cavs. Last play of the first half now, Shane Battier with the alley-oop off the inbound to LeBron. The Heat would take a 5-point lead into half, 55-50. Pick it up in the second half now. Battier drives baseline, finds LeBron for the emphatic jam. That would put the Heat up 11. Now Dwayne Wade gets into the action with a pump, absorbs the contact, uses the kiss off the glass. The bank is open in South Beach. Wade would add 23 of his own. That would be enough for the Heat to pull out this one. They win by 26, 108-82. James led the way with 31. Both the Rangers and the Blackhawks hadn't played since Olympic action in Sochi put a hiatus in the NHL season. But Thursday night in MSG gave both teams the chance to start their final stretches for playoff positioning. Pick it up on the ice. Now Benoit Pouliot with the steal gives the puck to Derek Brassard. Follows his own shot on the rebound and puts it in. Rangers up 1 early in the first. Now later in the third period, Rick Nash loses control of the puck. Picks it up though with a nice little snap. Puts it in the back of the net. Rangers look good, up 2-0 late in the third, but now Peter Regine for the goal with just 11.6 seconds left. Things got a little more uncomfortable for the Rangers, and now here on the dish to Patrick Kane, the pad save by Rangers goalie Cameron Talbot. Rangers would go on to win 2-1.
So the ACC title is up for grabs this weekend. Who do you think is going to win the SU-Virginia game?
I got to take SU. I think although Virginia's playing really well as of right now, I think SU comes down to Virginia with something to prove. They've struggled in the last couple games. I think they have a great showing against Virginia.
How about LeBron down there? Like you said, the Cape Crusader routine. How do you think that mask actually affects his playing?
It looks right now that he's playing pretty well with it. You know, he's very aggressive. You saw that emphatic jam he threw in. He was going to the lane all night yesterday. It wasn't just settling for the outside shot, so he looks like he's wearing it and wearing it well.
Good for him. He's heating up. Thanks so much, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Coming up next, they may be swimmers, but you won't see Michael Phelps doing what they do anytime soon.
2 college students get in over their heads with snow, literally.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Danse, balance la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches, au bal du dimanche.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
My dad's one of the producers.
Bring this week.
So, Leanne, what are you looking at tomorrow morning?
Well, tomorrow morning when we wake up, temperatures are going to be chilly, but not as chilly as we've seen, probably in the upper teens, and those will get warmer as we move on into the day, which is nice.
What kind of storm can we expect coming in Sunday into Monday?
Yeah, well, tomorrow and later in the afternoon, we will start to see some snow, and that'll be scattered. Into Sunday and Monday, we might see an ice storm. It could be a mix between rain and snow, depending on how low the temperatures get and where the storm track winds up moving. So it may miss us, but do expect some snow flurries.
So what do we expect throughout the week? How's the weather going to change?
Temperatures are going to fluctuate, but as we move on into the middle of the week, middle of the week, we will see temperatures dropping down into the lows with negatives in the, below zero. That polar vortex is coming back strong again, and the wind chill is going to keep things chilly.
Sounds like a busy week for Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Leanne.
Well, just because it's winter doesn't mean you can't go swimming indoors, but what about outdoors?
Really? 2 students at the University of Minnesota Duluth are internet famous for snow swimming.
The duo strips down to Speedos and swim caps and dives headfirst into snow piles in their property.
After putting videos on their Arctic antics on the internet, they got more than 1,000 Facebook likes and hundreds of shares.
I can't believe that. I mean, even us going here, and I would never want to jump in the snow.
No, people do those polar dives. I would never do that.
I barely want to be outside in the winter. You think
No.
let alone, half naked diving into the snow. Unbelievable.
I'm literally running to and from classes.
Can't believe it.
And that's all we have for you tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Amanda Harry.
And I'm John Tummino. Have a great night, Syracuse.